Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about unfortunate love was how Virendra gave money to Balwinder to leave Lakshmi and he should not marry Lakshmi. Balwinder took the money with the intention of still getting married to Lakshmi. So Virendra and Ayush later discovered that Balwinder fooled them and Ayush beat Balwinder and then the check falls down from Balwinder's hand. Then it was revealed that Neelam and Rano actually had a deal to get Lakshmi married quickly so that Lakshmi can leave Rishi. So let's continue from there. Balwinder tells Rano that Bani wants time to stop the marriage and that is why she is suggesting that they should do other rituals before the marriage. He says whoever acted to be smart get bandage on their bodies and Shalu get angry. Balwinder says I will keep you both in my house after my marriage and says Yogi Palace will be good for marriage tomorrow. Shalu and Bani angrily leaves from there. Rano asks Balwinder to give her money. Balwinder says he will give her more money after the marriage. Rano thinks that she will get money from Neelam and Balwinder and she thinks that she will not get sleep due to happiness because she is getting money from two places. Bani asks Shalu that why is their aunt doing this? Shalu says we are burden for aunt and she wants to lower the burden by getting our sister married to that cheap guy. Bani says we will go away from here. Lakshmi scolds them and asks them not to think wrong and says whatever God does is for good. She asks where are we going to go because she is our aunt and we cannot leave her. Shalu says to Lakshmi that aunt is saying only her daughter's betterment and she is ruining your own life. Lakshmi says she is a mother and there is nothing wrong to think about her daughter. Bani says we are also someone's daughter and she should think about this. Shalu asks Lakshmi if their mother and father would have been alive, then would they have done this? Lakshmi says I don't want to argue. Our parents have left us, so we have come here. My house is broken and I return here. It is all destiny. It is Lakshmi's destiny. She says if it is written in my destiny to marry Balwinder, then nobody can stop it. Shalu asks Lakshmi if they are puppet and says it is cowardness to leave everything on destiny. Lakshmi tells her that she did not care for herself and she will risk her life. She asks where my karma was wrong. What wrong did I do to anyone that bad thing is happening with me and says it is her destiny. Rishi tells Ayush that he tried to stop Lakshmi but she did not agree and says this might be her destiny. Ayush says nobody can tell me what is in Lakshmi's destiny but tomorrow is Lakshmi's marriage with that cheap Balwinder. Rishi asks tomorrow. Ayush says yes and Rishi is shocked. Lakshmi says to Shalu and Bani that a human cannot fight with his or her destiny. She says, how can I change my destiny? Ayush says to Rishi that our act and karma make our destiny and he asks him to change Lakshmi's destiny before her marriage with Balwinder and Rishi asks how. Bani says to Lakshmi that please don't do this marriage with Balwinder. Shalu and Bani hug Lakshmi. Rishi says to Ayush that I tried all means to stop Lakshmi but she doesn't want to see my face. He says this is Lakshmi's destiny. We cannot bring Lakshmi back to this house. He says if Lakshmi was in my destiny, then we wouldn't have gotten divorced. Ayush says uncle tried to give 50 million to Balwinder. Rishi says did he agree? Ayush says no and Rishi says this is destiny. Malishka dreams about Rishi and she scolds Sonal for breaking her dream. Sonal says I am sorry. Malishka says did you go out? Sonal says she was missing Ashish so she went out to meet him and she is tired. Malishka says you will be tired because you met Ashish. She says you have broken my dream. Sonal says your dream is fulfilling because of me and she asks Malishka to go and sleep. Malishka says what if I don't get the same dream again? She sleeps again and she asks Rishi to come into her dream again. The next day, Lakshmi, Shalu and Bani do the puja. Shalu asks God to stop Lakshmi's marriage. Lakshmi asks them to support her like always and she asks why are you against me this time? She says if you do this, then my courage will break. Shalu asks Lakshmi not to do this marriage. Rano says you are really Ralu and Ketu to stop your sister from getting married and she asks them to stop their nonsense. Shalu says to Rano that we are good sisters but you should become good and stop your niece's marriage. Bani cried and begged in front of Rano and says don't get this marriage done. I will be your slave for life. She says don't get my sister married to Balwinder. Get me married to Balwinder instead. Neha drops the glass in shock hearing this. Lakshmi asks Bani that what is she saying and Rano gets teary eyes seeing Shalu and Bani's love for their sister. Rishi is eating on the punching bag and recalling Grandma and Ayush's words. Neelam comes there and says finally, Lakshmi has gone away from your life. She was a betrayal, a liar and a corny girl. She cannot trap you again now. She says, thank God. I don't talk bad about anyone, but I cannot stay away from talking bad about Lakshmi. Neelam says to Rishi that Lakshmi has done so much bad in our love in front of me and I couldn't say anything. She says, I don't curse anyone. But Rishi shouted enough. He says, I'm forwarding my hand on Lakshmi. Please don't curse her. She has suffered a lot here and says she is really lucky and she is not inauspicious. Rishi says to Neelam that Lakshmi is so good and you will not find such a good girl in the entire world. He says nobody could identify Lakshmi, but she is the real Lakshmi, and he goes away from there, while Neelam looks on in shock. Rano says to Lakshmi and her sisters that my heart got emotional and says you both are Devis who shower their love on each other and says how will I get this marriage done now? Gudu comes to Rano's house with clothes for Lakshmi and he asks what happened. You are talking as if you saw the ghost. Shalu asks Gudu to become ghost and says our aunt has realized that Lakshmi's marriage will not happen, so she will not get this marriage done. Gudu asks what is she saying. Rano says she got emotional for her daughter's farewell and Shalu and Bani are shocked. Rano asks Gudu to go and she tells Shalu that how can a mother stop a daughter's marriage. Rano asks Lakshmi that how can she stop her daughter's marriage. Neha asks Rano to give her some time to get ready and says I have to click photos and selfies in different poses and I will send them to that rich guy. Rano asks Neha to go and get ready and she asks Lakshmi to get ready too and she asks her to take her clothes brought by Gudu. Neha shouted seeing Shalu burning the clothes and she shouted calling Rano. Rano tried to stop the fire but Bani tried to stop Rano. Rano pushes Bani and pours water on the fire. She asks Shalu why she did this. Shalu says I am like this and I will not let this marriage happen. Rano raises her hand to slap Shalu, but Lakshmi stops her and holds her hand. Rano says you will stop your aunt. Lakshmi says I stopped the hand which was raised to slap my sister. Rano scolds Lakshmi and asks her to trap Rishi and not her. She shows the burnt dress and she asks what will you do now and says now you will refuse to marry. Balwinder gets his hair dried with the hair dryer and applies makeup by himself. Gudu comes there and says he has given the bridal dress to them. Rano calls Balwinder. Balwinder greets her and asks that was the dress. Neelam asks the servant to give green tea to Virendra. Mukesh opens the door and sees Lakshmi and Rano standing there and Mukesh gets happy seeing Lakshmi. Virendra sees Lakshmi and asks Mukesh to call her inside. Neelam says Lakshmi will not come inside. Virendra folds his hand and asks Neelam not to do drama. Grandma comes there and asks Lakshmi and she asks them to come inside and Karishma thinks that why did Lakshmi come? Abe congratulates Malishka and says Rishi agreed to marry you. Malishka says Rishi loves me but Lakshmi came in between us. Abe says to Malishka that they should get her marriage done at the earliest and says any delay can snatch her happiness. Kiran says now nothing wrong would happen. Malishka says Lakshmi is getting married to Balwinder. Abe says it is good that cheap guy will be Lakshmi's husband and says he will ruin Lakshmi's life after marriage. Kiran says leave it Abe. Abe says my daughter has suffered so much because of that Lakshmi. Now it is Lakshmi's turn to suffer. Malishka says my marriage should happen in a grand way. Kiran says we will make it grand. Abe says we have to make sure that the marriage happens and we should not take even 0% risk. Bani and Shalu pray to God to stop this marriage. Shalu says Lakshmi is good and she does so much for people and she asks God to do some miracle and return happiness into Lakshmi's life. Bani says we are asking for Lakshmi because she never asks anything for herself and they both pray to God to do some miracle and stop Lakshmi from marrying Balwinder. Virendra asks Lakshmi to come inside. Lakshmi says she is fine here. She says Destiny wants her to stand outside and says I have come to request you. Karishma asks if Lakshmi will trap them now. Virendra says request and she asks her to just say whatever she wants and asks for anything. Lakshmi says you are my father and you blessed me always. She says I came to ask you for something and Virendra says I will give you everything, whatever you ask for. Karishma asks Neelam that what is Virendra saying? What if Lakshmi asks for our wealth and property? Grandma says Lakshmi did not ask when we asked her to take it earlier. So what are you saying? Because Lakshmi is not like that. Virendra asks Lakshmi that why did you come? Lakshmi says she wants Virendra to do a kayandan, that is a father handing over his daughter to the groom. Rano asks if Lakshmi have come for this and says I wouldn't have come with you. Virendra says, I agree that it is a father's duty, but how will I do your kyandan to a man where you will never be happy? He says, I pray that this marriage should stop anyway. He asks that, how can I push my daughter to hell? Lakshmi says to Virendra that if your blessings are with me, then it will be easy for me. Virendra says, no father can do this. Please don't put me in this dilemma. Karishma tells Neelam that they will get a lifetime freedom by doing this kyandan, and says if you stay there, then you will make sure that the marriage would happen with your fear. Lakshmi says to Virendra that I just wanted your blessings and I don't want to put you in dilemma. She says I will leave. Neelam stops her and says she doesn't want Virendra to regret that Lakshmi went empty-handed, and she asks Virendra to do what Lakshmi asks for. Virendra says if I had taken stand for Lakshmi at the right time, then Lakshmi wouldn't have been standing outside the house by now and she would have been inside the house, but I did not do anything. So he tells Lakshmi that he would do her giving away. Lakshmi folds her hand and leaves. Rano says since you are doing Lakshmi's giving away, then you have to come for the marriage, and she invites them all and she leaves. Balwinder says to Gudu that I will break Shalu's mouth. She has burnt the dress. Gudu asks if he should bring another dress. Balwinder laughs and says he had brought 2 dresses already and also 2 wedding necklaces. He says only Balwinder wins and others are losers. Balwinder says to Gudu that he has got Sheila tied there, who will guard Lakshmi throughout the day. He says the marriage would happen today at any cost, and his friend laughs. Balwinder says this is the 3rd wedding night for him. His friend says this is Lakshmi's 2nd marriage, and Balwinder says but nobody has touched Lakshmi till now. Karishma asks Grandma if she wants to bring Lakshmi back to their house. Grandma says if the situation was good, then I would have brought Lakshmi back. She hopes that nothing wrong should happen to Lakshmi, and she hopes that Lakshmi doesn't get married to Balwinder. Karishma says Lakshmi deserves Balwinder, and Grandma gets upset. Neelam says to Grandma that Karishma is right, and Lakshmi knows how to do black and white magic, so Lakshmi will control Balwinder. She says we should not get affected, and says we should not make the dust as our forehead ticker. Virendra says Lakshmi is not dust because she is actually the ticker, and everyone is shocked. Malishka comes there with Kiran and Abe. She hugs Neelam and Karishma and she asks if she can meet Rishi. Karishma says of course, Rishi is yours. Kiran says they are going to get married, so Malishka would ask the elders first before meeting Rishi. Abe says finally we are becoming in-laws. Virendra says it is destiny, and Abe says nobody can separate the lovers. Rishi is sitting down on the floor and singing Lakshmi and his wedding album. A song plays in the background. Malishka comes there and sees Rishi touching Lakshmi's photo, and she is shocked that Rishi is still remembering Lakshmi. Alright guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like and share it as well. And I'll see you all again tomorrow with other juicy updates. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.